But I don't think a lot of people are going to buy the next Battlefield game, even like especially because this game was basically a hoax. It was a scam. So the game is already dead to me, but I'm happy to see like a video like this, see if it's really dead.
It's arguably one of the most famous video game series of
I was a huge fan of Battlefield 1. Oh my fucking god, it's still one of my favorite games.
all time. When you think of FPS games, there's not many titles that come before Battlefield. The most recent release of Battlefield 2042 and its terrible reception has effectively ruined the possibility of a better game in the future. But to understand how Battlefield got this popular and how it ruined itself, we need to go back 2002. EA published a game called Battlefield 1942. The main appeal of the game was the multiplayer aspect of the game. Matching up with people across the internet was still a new thing. You could select your class of scout, assault, anti-tank, medic, and engineer. You could fly fighters and bombers and control battleships, submarines, and aircraft carriers. You could use artillery, tanks, jeeps, AA guns, and mounted MGs, which is cool as shit for 2002. One of the main focuses of 1942 was the large map based on different locations of combat in 1942. The maps were focused on where real battles took place, like El Alamein and Wake Island. These innovative features would make the game wildly successful, selling 3 million copies only 2 years after its release in 2002. Leaning on all of this praise, 2 years after the release, EA would make Battlefield Vietnam. And, well, EA pretty much just reskinned 1942 to make it into Vietnam. All of the same mechanics, just new skin.
That's the stamp of approval from EA Games. If they make something successful, they are not gonna spend any money making a real sequel. They will just fucking reskin the fucking original thing and call it a new one. That's how EA Games have always done business.
And new maps, but they did add a 3D map at least. But the lack of changes doesn't matter. It's 2004 and you can't really update a CD, so it sold 1 million copies. Next year in 2005, EA released Battlefield 2. The real sequel. A whole new game engine, a new time period, and a new conflict. What was there not to be hyped about? 15 maps, the US Marine Corps. The game had expansions adding up to 29 maps.
This was actually a good game.
Awards and get new weapons, incentivizing players to play longer. They added an in-game recorder to record your best kills on opposing players. There was a commander position, making the tactical part of the game more important. Competency of your commander could have determined the outcome of your entire match. 1 month after its release, I want you to guess how many copies it sold. 1.2 million. This was the best performing game of the year, receiving the best multiplayer game of 2005, and it went back to back in 06. Oh yeah, it also released it onto consoles, proving to be a great idea. In 2006, Battlefield 2142 was released, a game set in a dystopian future, where the main conflict of the game is to fight for the land that's not frozen. Real innovative, EA. But it added more weapon skins and vehicles, and not gonna lie, the thing looks dope as fuck. The game introduced this cool system known as the dog tag system. Basically, when you knife someone, you get their dog tag, giving you ranks and shit. And you had customization over your class upgrade.
I think I've never played
on
this
release
Battlefield.
was buggy, and it was still in the 4:3 aspect ratio. It still sold 1 million copies. Whoop-de scoop-de whoop. Battlefield Bad Company was released onto consoles in March of 2010. A mainly single-player game that featured a campaign with a unique storyline. It had a Find All 5 event for players to unlock specific weapons. Also, the game had a destructible environment. You know, blow up walls and
yeah, like Bad Company was so fucking groundbreaking. I love that game. I played it on Xbox 360 if I remember correctly.
Apparently, 90% of the environment was destructible. The sequel, get this creative marketing, Bad Company 2, and sold this 2 million copies.
Bad Company 2, right there up with Battlefield 1.
The 4th best-selling game in March of 2010. This modern warfare game featured new maps, new skins, 5 different game modes, more vehicles and aircraft.
You can destroy
it had a
everything.
solid single-player campaign and a great multiplayer game mode. And maybe the best feature of all, regenerating health. Battlefield 3 saw an amazing release, selling 5 million copies in the first week. It was 2011, and the Battlefield machine was firing on all cylinders. The beast looked like it couldn't be stopped. The new game introduced co-ops, more maps, skins, weapons, HUD, graphics, storyline, and reintroduced modes from previous Battlefield games. The single-player campaign was set in a world war in 2014. It did not follow a storyline, rather various flashbacks on the main character. Sadly though, EA started to get greedy. You see, to play online in multiplayer, arguably the most fun game mode, on console you need to buy an online pass. Their official stated reason for that online pass was that servers cost money and we're too broke. Well, we're broke too, bitch. Anyways, a big helping factor in the performance of the game's sales was the marketing campaign. They put a MiG-21 on display at a gaming convention. That's dope as shit. EA wanted.
This looks actually kind of like 2042, to be honest. All the coloring and the UI, it looks a lot like 2042, and that's fucking sad. This is Battlefield 3.
Wanted to destroy Call of Duty. They put over $100 million into just marketing. They also tried this cool new thing called pre-orders. Seemed to help boost and hype the game up. Yeah. EA also released several DLCs, but I'll let it slide because the base game was good. Battlefield 4, 2 years after Battlefield 3. New HUD, new skins, new models, new campaign, and reintroduced Commander mode. Let's go. Other than that, not much new. A new campaign is a follow-up to the old one. Set in a modern era, it still felt really similar to the last game. Oh, and a fun quote here for you to remember later. A brand that EA is deeply passionate about, and a fan community that EA is committed to.
Oh my fucking god. That didn't age
Battlefield
well.
4 releases, and it's buggy as shit. There's so many glitches and crashes that it was.
Yeah, the UI on Battlefield 2042 is actually like a copy of Battlefield 4.
Terrible or amazing, depending on what games you like to play. Because of this, EA saw a dip in sales compared to Battlefield 3. So they put out a statement. Any negative impacts of sales were actually due to the transition from current gen to next gen. Yeah, real believable, EA. The stupid multiplayer online pass was still there, but because of the many bugs, EA became a target for law firms. Several investigations were set forth by law firms to determine if EA was misleading its customers with false promises and an unfinished product. As far as I know, I don't think they got in trouble. But here's a big thing. In 2013, EA discontinued the online pass for multiplayer on all existing and future EA games. Battlefield sales were down 69% compared to Battlefield 3. Well, they needed a big change if they were going to salvage this situation. Battlefield Hardline. Yeah, I'm just gonna skip this one. Battlefield 1. You've all been waiting for it, and here it is. It's 2016. New time period.
Like, I remember just getting home and fucking playing Battlefield 1. It was so good. Like, we played this like all night with my friends.
More visuals, new campaign, more modes, better graphics, and impeccable, amazing, beautiful sound design. Battlefield 1 sold over 15 million copies. This game's success is incomprehensible. I'm sure I don't have to describe any of the new things to you because there's like a 104% chance that you've played this game. And in case you are in that 0% chance, here's some of the highlights that this game made. The single player campaign has weeks worth of content. It follows World War I stories across the war on all sides, jumping between stories as different missions, and some of the cinematic shots are some of the best I've ever seen. The weapon control is amazing. The weapons feel like they are real weapons with proper damage. The bolt action makes you, die. So many different game modes in the multiplayer part. Like, Jesus. Man, I don't know. This game is just amazing. Good on you, EA. You made a great game. Alright, this video is getting long enough. Let's pick it up. Battlefield 5 was released in 2018. The game focused more on realism rather than the arcadey feel of previous Battlefields. More customization to get you invested more, but in-game currency used to buy cosmetic items. Damn, you're doing so good, EA. The game went balls to the wall with the operations mode, which is like matches taking place at the same time to simulate a real war, and battle royale game mode. Yep, real innovative, EA. The single player campaign in Battlefield 5 might have some of the most beautiful storylines with the biggest plot twists attached to it ever. I surrender, man. Bitch. Don't even get me started on the last Tiger Man. Fuck you, Schroeder. Anyways, Battlefield 5 sold half physical copies of Battlefield 1. And at the end of 2018, Battlefield sold only 7 million.
I think this guy skipped quite a lot of the Battlefield 5 drama. Because there was a lot of drama on Battlefield 5 because of the choices EA DICE made about twisting the history of World War II, and that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. So they decided to boycott the game, and the game was not actually that finished when it came out, which is kind of like a tradition to EA DICE.
Copies, which fell far from EA's expectations of the predicted sales. Now we finally arrived. Battlefield 2042. Futuristic weapons, drones, turrets, new vehicles, airdrop, but EA said, fuck single player. You will only get a multiplayer mode. With only 3 choices of multiplayer modes. What crack were the Battlefield devs thinking? Hey, so we need something to get people to buy the game again, you know? Let's remove almost all of the game modes. I love it. EA churned their beloved game of Battlefield into a battle royale with...
Like, I've made a video about how bad Battlefield 2042 is. Multiple videos about how bad Battlefield 2042 is. But like, even aiming with a mouse was made so fucking ass. The menu system in the beginning was completely impossible to navigate through. Like, you didn't even know what to change to make the game work better. And you didn't know if you activated them because the UI was so shit that it didn't tell you if you activated or deactivated the one you wanted. And well, the game was just buggy. Hit registration of the guns was fucking horrible. The servers were shit. The skins looked horrible. There were no scoreboards. There was no voice chat, which was fucking funny because we were waiting with my friends to play crossplay when the beta game. And when the beta game, we went to the party and there was no fucking chat. And they didn't announce that beforehand. They didn't fucking announce that before.
Some extra game modes on the side. Thing is, you have to pay for this battle royale. $60 fucking dollars. Why would I pay for this when I can just play Fortnite? Cool part about this game is that you need a subscription to play it on the consoles. It is impossible to enjoy Battlefield 2042 without having an Xbox Live Gold or PlayStation Plus subscription to play it. Jesus, EA, who are you really helping out here? Let's take a look at the Steam reviews. These people don't even have to play it. That's all on Steam. They don't have to use the subscription. They only have to do the upfront cost of it. They also have a goddamn battle pass that you can pay for cosmetics as well. That's like adding an in-game currency that you can buy to make you better at the game, but also use it for cosmetics. Wait a minute, 2K?
Yeah, like majority who pre-ordered the expensive pack, which I also bought, didn't even receive the battle pass. They were promised when they purchased the expensive package. I received the battle pass and I've received the skins, but I didn't really play the game, and the skins, or like the characters and the skins look really fucking ass. There was nothing good about 2042. There was nothing good about Battlefield 2042. And I think it's going to be a really hard journey for Battlefield to make a comeback, if they even make a comeback. Like, there's rumors that they are already starting to abandon like the devs, the Battlefield 2042, and it's basically just a skeleton crew handling the servers and small updates, and majority of EA DICE is focusing on the next Battlefield game. But I don't think a lot of people are going to buy the next Battlefield game, even like, especially because this game was basically a hoax. It was a scam. and a lot of people like myself lost the faith for Battlefield, the brand. Like I'm really weary of buying the next Battlefield game, like pre-ordering it, because what I experienced pre-ordering this game. It's sad.